This video includes some written instructions for the hearing impaired. Feel free to fast forward past any part that you may not need. Some pictures and videos are self-explanatory. This video is not intended to be a guide for making a chain, a single, or a double crochet stitch. It does include a how-to for my style of turning stitch and for my style of weaving in ends. You can always contact me with any questions. Hi, I'm Debbie, and today I'm ready to guide you step by step through the process of making this pocket scarf. This is my first YouTube video. Bear with me and enjoy. For this project, you will need a pair of scissors, a darning needle for weaving in ends, and a crochet hook. I am using a K hook. Please feel free to use the size hook that gives you approximately 47 double crochet stitches to 1 foot in length. Information on how to do that will come later. For my scarf, I will be using 2 skeins of a main solid color, soft worsted medium weight 4, 256 yards each skein, and 1 skein soft worsted weight 4, 204 yards of a complementary or mixed color yarn. The amount of yarn you will need will depend on the number of double crochet stitches it takes you to equal 1 foot in length, and the number of feet long and the width of your scarf when it's completed. Let's begin. First, we'll do a double crochet test row. Chain 50 chains, then turn and make a row of double crochet stitches across. One row should give you a good approximation of the number of stitches you will need to equal 1 foot in length for your scarf. The very first chain you want to make, pull it right through. Grab it, pull it right through. Pull it right through. Now you want to make 50 chains so that you can do a test double crochet row. So make your 50 chains and then come back to the video. Now that you have your 50 chains, you want to go in to the second chain from the end of the hook. So you're making a double crochet, so wrap it and then go 1, 2. You can see on the photo better to make your first double crochet. And then wrap and start making double crochets all along your chain. In every chain you want to make your double crochet. It's a lot easier than I'm making it look, especially if you've done these before. Anyway, so make your first row of 50 double crochet. We're going to see how many we need to make 1 foot. This is my last stitch of my 50 test row, and I'm going to put my tape measure right there and run my fingers down it all the way till I come to 1 foot, and then I'll pinch off my stitching right there, put that out of the way, and then count each stitch, individual stitch, all the way back to the end to find out how many of your stitches will equal 1 foot. Let's determine the length of your scarf. The height of a person will normally equal the number of feet for your scarf. For example, if your wearer is 5 feet tall, your scarf should be 5 to 6 feet long. I've learned to make them a bit longer than I estimate from a lot of trial and error. If your test row of double crochet is 37 stitches to make 1 foot, multiply 37 by the number of total feet your scarf needs to be. That will give you the number of chains to start with. This should include 1 foot, 37 stitches for each desired wraparound, and 1 foot for the pocket creation. It will add 6 inches per side to the scarf. Then you will add 1 additional chain for the turn to start your double crochet row. There is an example for a 6-foot long scarf with 1 wrap around and a pocket on each end of the scarf. Make your starting chain row now. My pocket scarf is going to be a length of 8.5 feet. I will be starting with a chain of 401. My double crochet row measured 47 stitches to 1 foot. Check your double crochet row to see how many stitches you need per foot for your scarf. We will make 12 rows. This will give us an approximately 6 to 7 inch wide scarf. We will do 6 rows of solid, then rows 7 and 8 we'll switch to our complementary or multicolored yarn, and then rows 9 through 12 again will be solid. Feel free to change the design by alternating your color or complementary rows with the solid rows in any place you desire. My turning stitch is different from most. At the end of the row, turn your work and then in the first stitch make 1 single crochet and chain 1. Proceed to the next stitch to start your double crochets for that row. Check online for directions on how to make a chain, specific stitches, or how to change yarn colors. Now that your chain is completed and you remembered to add 1 chain for your turn, in the second chain from the hook, make your first double crochet and continue to double crochet in each chain to the end of the row. Once you've finished your first row of double crochet, go ahead and watch the video or refer back to the instructions on how to turn at the end of your row. We're going to go ahead and turn our row. Let that drag behind, and then go into the very first chain, the very first double crochet that you have after you turn. Put it through. We're just going to make a single crochet there, and then we're going to put a chain on top of it. Then wrap it, go into the next double crochet, and start your next row of double crochets all the way down, and I will see you after you finish row number 6. Now that you've finished row number 6, we're ready to change colors. Turn the material as if you were going to make your turning stitch. Then, leaving your hook attached, make a slip knot with your new color. We're going to pull that down through the loop that's still on your hook, and then you're going to proceed to make your turning stitch just as you have before. In the first double crochet, make your single crochet and add your chain. When it's time to switch back to your solid color, make your slip stitch, pull the slip stitch down through the loop that's on your hook, and then make your single crochet and your chain in that first double crochet. Continue on to make 4 more rows in your solid color. We'll be weaving in ends next. These are the ends that you'll be weaving in. Weave in your ends. Watch any YouTube video on weaving in ends, or watch the video that's coming to see the technique I use for weaving in ends. First, thread your end yarn into your darning yarn needle. Pick a row matching in color close to your yarn end and insert the needle between the stitches, not coming out on the other side of your work. Insert it for approximately 1 inch and then pull it through. Stretch to be sure the weave is not too tight. Turn your work and avoid the stitch that the end just came out of, and go over that stitch and into the next stitch and go back through that inch you just made. Follow the yarn back. Stretch it to be sure the weave is not too tight. When you get to the end, turn your work one last time and again avoid the stitch that your yarn is coming out of and go over that stitch to insert your needle and head back the same path that your yarn just followed. Stretch it to be sure the weave is not too tight, pull slightly, cut off the end, and next, watch the video. I'm going to use a different color of yarn on my darning needle and show you how to go about weaving in your ends. What you want to do is go in to this solid row and just go in between. Go in between for about an inch. I hope you can see that. And you're going to pull your yarn through. Pull it through. Mine won't go all the way because I'm going to leave the end loose. But then you're going to turn it, and you can see that there is a stitch right where it came out. You don't want to go through that. You want to go on top of it and go into the next one and come back the other way through the same stitches that you just went through, and then come out just before the one where you went in. I hope you can see that. And you're going to go ahead and pull that through. Don't pull it too tight. You want to make sure that it stretches a little bit. And then you're going to turn it one more time. And just the same. You don't want to go back through the same stitch that you just came through. You want to go over top of that into the next stitch. Thread it through the same place where the others just came through and out the end. And you can even go past the next one. And stretch it to make sure it's not too tight. And you have your weaved in ends. Hopefully you can see how you skip that one, and that makes it so that the yarn can't pull through anymore. So once you've finished weaving in your ends, fold the end up to make your pocket. Measure and make sure that it's 6 inches on each side of the pocket. You can line your pocket with a piece of cloth. Refer to YouTube or online for how to sew cloth to a crocheted item. What I'd like to show you is how you fold over your scarf end on both sides. Make sure they're on the same side of the scarf. When you open it up, you need to make sure that you fold the same sides in. Then you're going to fold it up to make sure that you have a 6-inch pocket, 6 inch on both sides. And you're going to take a new piece of the same color yarn, and you're going to start it here on your darning needle. You're going to go through and sew through both sides all the way down, then turn and sew through both sides again all the way up, tie it off, and then weave in your ends. You're going to do the same thing to this side, about the same area of the stitch until you get all the way back up to the top. Tie it, weave in your ends, and you have your pocket. You can also put a button on the inside here so that you can button the pocket up. That'll keep it from falling open and letting anything fall out that's inside your pocket. Go ahead and fold your pockets and give it a try. This is how your scarf should look when you're all done. When you lay your scarf flat, both pockets should be on the same side of the scarf. Thank you for your patience and for watching this video.